Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope things are great with you. Thanks for tuning in back to my channel. We are continuing the Saturn and the Amazing series. Now we have reached to the sixth house. As usual, we talk about what Saturn is, what the sixth house is, and then to look at the synergies that it produces. The Saturn, of course, is a graha of which bestows great wisdom. It shows clarity, and it also gives us resiliency in life, right? Resiliency, adaptability, and all that. That's what Saturn is. Basically, Saturn shows you what are the things that life is giving you and how you should react to it without the icing on the cake. It's just no fancy, no frills. It's just a bare basic. It is crude and raw in nature. Okay, what are the things that you find in life, right? And accept it as it is. That's what Saturn is all about. And of course, that is painful, but that's what Saturn is, which is why Saturn has a bad reputation. But if you really come to think about it, Saturn is a great giver of wisdom, right? Now, the sixth is the house of what are the things that you're willing to sacrifice, what are the things that you're willing to commit in order for you to enjoy whatever that you really love. There are things you have unconditional love, which is the fifth house. Now let me go back a little bit on the fifth house. Remember the fifth house, I was saying that you're coming out from the boundaries of your individuality to experience life from a third party's point of view, right? On how the soul is getting matured. So remember 5, 6, 7, 8, these four houses is the sequence of maturing your soul, right? Maturing towards what? Dharma, of course, the path of virtue and righteousness. That's what is maturing to. So basically life will push you in directions so that you will gain new experiences and which you learn lessons from it. So these experiences is from the 5th, 6th and 7th and 8th, these four houses. Okay, so remember the 5th is you're just coming out from the boundaries of individuality and you're experiencing the world, which is why the 5th always talks about your passion, things that you love doing. It talks about romantic relationship. It talks about hobbies. It talks about things that you really idolize, people whom you idolize. All these things are on the 5th house. To put it simply, things which you are that is the first step for your soul to mature, all right, is by pushing you towards these things. All right, for example, I have a very strong interest in arts, any form, art forms, especially music is very close to my heart. Okay, so since small I've been, of course, my parents gave me the opportunities to pursue and support me in music as well. So, but through that, you see how it works. Through that, I met people. Remember, it's a third party influence. I met people, I've gained experiences, and those events and experiences which I've gained from the 5th, right, through my passion, is then pushed to the 6th house. Okay, so every people whom I meet in the industry of music and the events that I have and things like that is again reflective to the 6th house, right? Yes, I'm happy and all that, but where is the learning part here? Where does the soul gets matured? The 6th house, right? The 6th house is where, okay, fine, you're going into music, you love to play the guitar or any other instruments. What are you going to do about it? All right, first you need to stand on your own feet, right? So you need to have a solid education, right? So put your efforts on your studies first, then you're going to get a job. You need to have some money in your hands, and then probably you'll get into marriage and having kids and those sort of things. Now if you can strike the balance, then it's great, but your responsibility and your sacrifice is important in order for you to enjoy whatever that you really want, right? So again, in my example, I really like music, but I couldn't pursue in music, so I went to the next best thing that I like, which is computers. The sacrifice that I took, that I take was again based on the sixth house. Drudgery of work, doing things that I don't like, but then I have to do it because if I want to be a musician one day, well, since that is not helping me in any other form, I need to do some other job to compensate that, right? So that some other job may not be my interest, but I have to do it in order for me to sort of compromise and support my love and passion towards music, right? So that's where sixth house is coming. The things that you would sacrifice in order for you to enjoy the unconditional love, which is why the fifth talks about children. Of course, to have children, you need to have, you need to be in a position, you need to be able to support them. Remember, the kids are born not by their choice. Kids are born because of your choice to have them. So they don't owe you anything, but you owe them everything, right? So that is an important thing to understand. The sixth is the sacrifice that you will take in order for you to maintain, or in order for you to support, or in order for you to have all those passions and love and what not in the fifth house. Okay, so that's a little bit about the sixth house. So now you know what the sixth house is. Now you know what Saturn is. What happens when you have a well-positioned Saturn in the sixth house? Okay, number one is adaptability. Anything that happens in your life, okay, sudden change, okay. For let's say your boss calls you one day and say, look, you've been stationed to another place, all right, which will take you like an additional 3 more hours to travel, to commute and so on. It's okay, it's fine, no problem. Thank you, boss, for that. You can immediately adapt to things, right? Your adaptability is really awesome, I tell you. The ability to change, no matter what, good or bad, you can easily change. You can easily adapt. You don't need to have any kind of planning or anything. If it happens, I take it as it is. That kind of mindset, such a great thing. Second is, you don't really care much about how you feel or what people really think about you. It's not that you are cold-hearted person, it's not like that, but you have a way to compartmentalize your feelings. You can put it aside and think only what's required, being very pragmatic and practical in your approach. Second one. Third is your person who always recollects about your values and principles, right? No matter what you do, your focal point, the centerpiece of your life is always bound by this values and principles that you're carrying with you. So which means anything that happens in your life, right? Anything that happens in your life, you'll always put them into this values and principles, and those will be your guiding factors. So you can imagine if a person have that, no matter what happens in his or her life, because they're strongly clinging on to that values and principles, their life may be seen as seamless, right? Although they have all the pains, all the problems, but they don't take it within. They'll look at it, okay, like this happened to me, fine, what do I need to do? That's what their thoughts are. The fourth thing is they embrace the past. Whatever happened in the past, they do not like forget it. They don't do that, but they embrace it. Okay, this thing happened to me. I'm going to take it as a lesson. Okay, I accept the past. Because many of us have this problem where we don't accept the past. Right? We don't find a solace to what has happened. We don't have closure. Right? And what happens, that baggage is being carried for our entire life, and of course that brings us down, gives us so much pain, right? That emotional baggage will always give us disease and whatnot, right? But people who have Saturn well positioned in the sixth house accepts it, keeps it in their heart, and just moves on. They take it as a lesson, no matter what has happened. They do not carry it as a baggage, but they don't forget it as well. They take it as a lesson, and they use that lesson in order for them to progress more into life. Okay, that's the fourth. And the fifth, certainly not the least, is trust. Self-trust. I mean, they trust themselves so much. They have the ability to say that, okay, I appreciate your concerns, right? I understand the risk which is involved. I thank you for giving me all the guidance, but I trust myself. I think I can do it, right? And that sort of, it's not an ego or a false pride, but it is a belief that whatever that you think will happen in your favor, right? So that self-trust is such a great thing, of all the five, I believe. See if you have, yeah, I think I'll stop here, but I think you get the idea of what self-trust is, it means, right? Okay, so these are the top five amazing things that you'd have when Saturn is well positioned in the sixth house. So I'll see you on the 7th. Take care then. Namaste.